This is probably gonna be one of the hardest videos I've ever thought about making, but I really wanted to talk to you guys about this today. I've thought a long time about making this video, but I've been really scared and like thinking about the social implications about me making a piece of content like this, considering I'm a small channel still, and a lot of my colleagues and people I know watch my videos despite there being so little views and stuff. And it's also just like really embarrassing, and just thinking about the things people will think of me. But the more I thought about how hard it is to talk about, how embarrassed I felt and everything like that, it made more sense to me to make this video and talk about these things. Because as hard as it is, like, it's the whole reason why I made this channel, is to help people and to just be myself and try and improve my own life. So today I just wanted to be open and honest about corn addiction and how I really feel like it's impacted me over the years. And I'm 31 now, you know, I'm approaching 32, and like time just is flying by. I just really felt like, okay, enough is enough, and I wanna speak about this today. I know a lot of people probably don't see adult content and things like that as a big problem. I know that when speaking to other people about it, or even, you know, sometimes speaking to my partner about it, a lot of people don't understand how it impacts someone, especially young men, what it does to your brain, and how it can actually affect your personal life and your confidence and everything like that. But it is a really big problem, at least for me and a lot of other people that I have spoken to about it. And I think that in today's day and age, you know, with the internet and everything like that, it's become more readily available. And I guess it's kind of scary, you know. I feel like a lot of people probably feel the same way as I do, but maybe a bit too scared to talk about it, and the fear of feeling judged, feeling like a bit of a freak or a pervert or something, and hiding that away in shame. And in my experience of, like, you know, being a recovering drug addict and all these things, like, shame is like a really scary thing, because if you're hiding something away from people, it sort of like enables the behavior. By hiding it away, you are not coming to terms with it. I wanted to take the first step and be a bit of a man and talk about it and hope that I can help someone today. So I guess my own personal story is, I first saw a piece of adult content when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and I'm 31 now, so it was like 20 years ago. You know, as these things go, you're young, you know, you don't really think much of it. In that instance, it's probably not that bad of a thing. You're gonna find out at some point about the birds and bees, and I just thought, holy shit, like, pretty wild. It's some wild stuff, man. It's just curiosity, and it's not a huge problem. But through my teens, it was really awkward. I didn't have much confidence. I don't think it really helped. Looking back at that now, it became a habit really quickly. And a routine, and then, you know, something I didn't even question. It just became something really normal. In my adult years, you know, when I turned around mid-20s, and it was quite a normal thing, quite talked about. I think that's when I started to like notice that something wasn't quite right from the way that I thought on a day-to-day basis, or if I like saw a girl, certain thoughts would enter my head, and I wouldn't have much like self-control, you know, in terms of like where my thoughts were going and things like that. When I actually did have relations with someone, I actually got like really bad performance anxiety, to be honest, and that isn't easy for me to say. It feels really shameful to say that, but I know nothing's wrong with me, but I would get so in my head just thinking, oh, like, this isn't, you know, am I doing it good or whatever. That messed me up. Like, when that happened to me, you know, you see ads and you hear people talk about that stuff, and, you know, when they're older, or like ED or whatever the case might be, and I was like, man, I'm like 25, like, why is this happening to me? And it really messed me up. Could not talk about it to my mates. Like, that's so embarrassing, you know. Made me hide away and put myself in my shell even more. And every time I gave in, I knew that I wasn't helping fix the problem. I was just enabling like that behavior and enabling that bad situation to like take control of myself. And, you know, on top of like where I had come from and being a drug addict for like, you know, nearly 9 years, not controlling yourself and allowing yourself to partake in a destructive behavior, it reminded me of that, I think, and I still actually feel that way. The more you do stuff like that, I think it's easier to fall into bad habits. Now in my 30s, I can't ignore it anymore. Like, I just don't feel the same drive. Part of that can be that, you know, I'm getting older, but like I'm only 31, you know, it's like kind of odd. It definitely had moments where my mood is really up and down, and it started even like affecting my relationship with, you know, without saying too much, with not feeling like I wanted to be intimate and things like that. My partner's even brought up to me a few times like, oh, like, you know, like we hug and we, you know, we share time together, but I'm not as close physically as I once was. You know, even thinking about it myself and like just how it impacts me and like no one else, because it's like a victimless behavior in some ways. Hearing that was really hard, and trying to talk to my partner about it, and have her, being a female, doesn't really understand like the gravity of the problem, and that's not her fault either, and she's not to blame, but it just really hit hard. And I've tried to talk to her about it. I've tried to talk to other people about it, and they might like laugh it off or whatever and say, oh, it's like, you know, just quit, bro, it's not that big of a deal. But that attitude didn't really give me much hope, and it didn't make me feel much better about myself. The fact that people were making light of it when I felt like it wasn't a light subject, and it took me a lot of courage to talk about it, yeah, really didn't make it much easier. I felt like a lot of shame and a lot of disgust in myself. Even talking about it right now, like this is just easily the hardest thing I've ever had to talk about. But I think it's so important. When I was getting ready to make this video, I had a thought to myself. I was like, am I really gonna like jump on camera and talk about this? I came to this realization that it's like, it's not all about you, bro. Not everything's about you. I am talking about myself and my experiences here, but like, I think that this is actually like a real problem. And I know for a fact, hands down, at least enough people I can count on my fingers that are going through the same thing. I know that there's going to be a lot more people that are going through the same thing that don't want to talk about it. I just want to say that there is something you can do about it, and I'm sort of in that process at the moment, and talking to you guys and sharing this and getting it out there and putting it out to the void of the internet, that like I've had enough. I'm gonna do what I need to do to stop this addiction, you know, and put a pin in it. Shout out to a friend of mine, Mr. Spencer, who kind of reached out to me at an opportune time, really, to be honest. And like, I've been really busy. I've been moving house. I like soft launched a business with my friends and been trying to make videos and everything like that. Been collecting Warhammer and all sorts of stuff. And in fact, just as a quick pivot from what we're talking about, to make myself feel a little bit less anxious, here's a dreadnought that I'm making. Isn't that sick? But anyway, I've been doing a lot of stuff, and he came to me and said, hey man, saw your videos, real cool. I've actually got this resource that you should be reading that helped me quit my porn addiction. So I'm gonna link that below. So if you guys wanna have a gander at that, I highly recommend that you do. And I think what I plan on doing is just posting like an update in a month from now about like how this journey is going for me, what it's done for me, and how it's like helped benefit me, and not just me, like the people around me and my partner and everything like that. I really wanted to talk about this today and just sort of face it, and just for my own sake, and give myself confidence that it doesn't have control over me, and jump in front of a camera and speak about it to you guys, because I do think it's a really big problem. If you're going through something similar, I just want you to know that like you're definitely not alone. Like if you've got any problem out there, like someone else is dealing with it. But I feel like this particular problem is really nuanced, and not a lot of people want to talk about it. Not a lot of men feel comfortable talking about it, and I certainly don't. But I think it's so important that you know that you can talk to people about it, and you can be honest with yourself, and it's a problem that can be fixed. But look, that's all from me. Yeah, like I said, this is a real hard one to talk about. I really sincerely hope that this helps someone out there. Look, it's November, man. It's right around the corner. Get that mustache out. You can quit that shit. You know, this stuff that we're consuming, it's like rotting our brain. It will destroy you, and it's not good for you, man. And I just really don't want other people to feel like how I felt. I felt like I owe it to everyone else, and I owe it to myself to be confident to talk about it and to not hide it away. And I want to move past this particular chapter of my life. So new house, new me, all that stuff. And of course, like I said before, there's going to be a resource in the description below for you guys to read and go through. It's there's a guide on how to use it and when to read it and stuff like that. So if you're interested, check that out. Shout out to my boy Spencer for looking out for me, and shout out to my friends and to my partner and to all you guys that watch these videos and show your love and support. So anyway, bit of a strange topic today, I know, but I'm sure you guys will understand if you watch the content. I will catch you guys next time at the end of the week. It's good to be back, and I hope you guys are well. Take it easy. God bless. I love you. Ciao, ciao.